Well, hello everybody. I'm joined today by the amazing Lisa Pegher, who is going to be our soloist at the Reading Symphony's next concert on Saturday, November the 5th. And she's here to tell us about a fabulous concerto for percussion and orchestra by Joseph Schwantner. So, first of all, Lisa, welcome. It's great to see you.
Thank you. It's very great to be here.
And if you will, I'd love it if you just spend a moment telling our fabulous audience in Reading a little bit about yourself. They might not know you or your work. So, where do you hail from?
Sure. My name is Lisa, as was mentioned before, and I've actually been performing as a soloist most of my life. I started playing the drums when I was about 7 years old, and I had a passion for being a soloist pretty much at the age 14 when I realized, and an interesting side note on that is the piece that actually inspired me and made me know that I wanted to be a soloist was this piece that I'm going to play with the Reading Symphony Orchestra coming up on November 5th. I had actually heard this piece, and it was a fairly new piece at that time, and I all of a sudden realized that a percussionist could actually be at the front of the stage instead of the back of the stage, and that really inspired me as I was moving forward. That was something that I wanted to do, and as I went through music and training and things like that, I had already decided in my head when I told my teachers that being a soloist was for me. And even though being a percussion soloist was not normal at that time, they still encouraged me to pursue that path.
And in your working life, do you have a lot of different sort of engagements as a percussionist? I mean, is it with orchestras, with other bands, and this sort of thing, and touring a lot?
Yes, yes. I mean, most of my professional engagements are still as a soloist, playing different concertos. So I have an extensive repertoire of percussion solos, concertos that have been written for me. So I've actually commissioned a lot of composers over the years, premiered a lot of these works myself, and um, I I have an extensive repertoire of the historical concertos that were written for percussion that I perform as well. Aside from that, I also play in different types of groups because my passion is not only just in classical music, but I also enjoy playing jazz. And so over the years, I've played in jazz trios. I'm also interested a lot in technology and electronic music, and I've done a lot of composition works that include multimedia, electronics, samples, beats, things like that, and trying to incorporate all of those things together and do a lot of cross genre work. And one of the things I'm really passionate about actually is taking all of those different genres and trying to bring them together, which seems to not be something that is done a lot, but I feel like there's a lot of potential for.
So, Lisa, that sounds fascinating. Very varied lifestyle you have. But what specifically should people be listening out for in this Schwantner concerto?
Yeah, so the Schwanner Percussion Concerto is a really interesting piece in that it makes extensive use of not just a soloist playing with the orchestra, but also the soloist kind of emerges from the percussion section with the other players. And so in the first and third movements, you'll actually see me back in the percussion section and kind of like just a member of the battery and percussion section back there. And then you'll see me emerge to the front of the stage for the second movement. Um, and aside from just listening to the beautiful colors and the extensive battery that make up this piece, one of the things to really listen for is the difference between when the soloist emerges from the back to the front and the different context in which that presents percussion as a solo instrument. And one of the things to kind of listen out for in that is that when Schwantner was writing the second movement, you'll actually see in the score that he's actually dedicated that to one of his longtime composition friends, Stephen Albert. And interesting side note about that is that it's a very it has a much different feeling than the first and third movement is in that it is kind of dark and somber and has definitely a different feeling and emotion to it than the other piece, the other movements. And so one of the things I would say about it is that his friend Stephen Albert had actually died tragically and without much. notice when Schwantner was actually trying to finish this concerto, and that really shows in the second movement. And one of the things that is very dramatic about it, I think, is that it kind of alludes to the fact that, in the back you're kind of with these people, and when you move to the front, it kind of shows what one person means to the whole, um, and what that one person can have an impact on in, throughout people's lives. And if you lose something like that, it can also have a profound effect on you. And as I've actually played this piece throughout my life, it's actually had that profound effect on me as well, because every time that I go to play that second movement, I think of the people that I've had relationships with in my life, the people who I've lost, the tragedies that occur, and that feeling that heartbeat is really what drives the human spirit. And what to listen for in that is that he actually wrote this long, drawn out space where the bass drum is representing that heartbeat, and it starts very small, and it just grows and speeds up over time until it's this very dramatic climactic moment in the second movement. And every time that I play that, it has a profound it's different when you practice it, but when you perform it with a live orchestra, it really brings together this unity and this like, as a soloist, I don't always get to play with orchestras. I show up and I play with them, but every experience that I have with an orchestra where I come and unite with them, even for a short time, it has a profound effect on that unity in the human spirit. And I think that that's something that's really special about this piece, and something to definitely listen for.
Lisa, I had no idea there was such an emotional and deeply affected journey going on in this piece. I thought it was just this incredibly dramatic, very vibrant piece of orchestral music with such intense percussion writing. So thanks for informing us all about that. I've been busy learning all the rhythmic patterns and the notes and how it's all structured that way, but the emotional content, which of course is why we listen to music in the first place, that's so important. So thanks for telling us. Lisa, I can't wait until November the 5th, and I'm sure it'll be the same for everybody. And just as an extra reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that the concert on November the 5th, which in the UK is Guy Fawkes, so it's bonfire night, it's fireworks night. There'll be lots of fireworks, percussive fireworks from Lisa Pegher in the Joseph Schwantner Concerto for Percussion and Orchestra. And also the amazing Planets by Gustav Holst. So a great night at the Santander Performing Arts Center with your wonderful Reading Symphony Orchestra. 7:30 p.m. If you want tickets, readingsymphony.org, that's the place to go. If you don't want tickets, I don't want to know about you. But there you are. It's going to be a wonderful night, November the 5th, and we'll see you there. Thank you very much.